Ukrainian comedian Volodymyr Zelenskiy has won the presidential election with a landslide, securing more than 70% of the vote in Ukraine. The incumbent president, Petro Poroshenko, has already admitted defeat in what's being seen as a huge rejection of the political establishment. Well, we're joined now from Kyiv by our reporter, Simon Ostrovsky. Morning to you, Simon. How much of a political earthquake has this caused in Ukraine?
Well, this is huge, and it's huge not just in Ukraine, but across the world, because think about it. The fictional president, the TV president, has become the real president, and that's a message to establishments all across the world. There's another reason this is important, and that's because he won by this landslide margin, unifying both the Ukrainian-speaking West and the Russian-speaking Southeast in opposition to the incumbent Petro Poroshenko. Now, there's one more thing. This entire election is a rebuke to Vladimir Putin and to the Kremlin, because it shows the people of Russia that free and fair elections are possible, and there's no reason to stick with strongman leaders like Vladimir Putin himself, who's been in power for more than 20 years. Volodymyr Zelenskiy actually spoke about this in his victory speech last night. He said to the people of the former Soviet space, "Look at us, this is possible." Have a listen.
An actor who played the president of his country in a fictional TV show has won the presidency of Ukraine for real, according to preliminary exit poll results.
To all the countries of the former Soviet Union, look at us. This is possible.
Volodymyr Zelenskiy, who has no previous political experience, will take over from Petro Poroshenko, a wealthy oligarch who's faced a public backlash amid widespread perceptions that he used the presidency to enrich himself.
Zelensky has promised sweeping anti-corruption reforms and has promised to keep Ukraine on its pro-Western track of integration with the European Union. But critics complain that he's been very light on details about how he plans to implement those policies.
This political novice inherits a country embroiled in Europe's only active war. Ukraine has been fighting off a Russian invasion since 2014. More than 13,000 people have died as a result of the conflict. But many in Ukraine are fed up with the political establishment, and Zelenskyy's rise has coincided with a spate of anti-establishment election successes across the continent.
I don't believe in Poroshenko. He may have saved our country in a critical time, but I think he did more for himself than he did for the country. There is a lot of corruption and poverty. It's no way to live. We need reforms, and I think Zelensky will be able to provide them.
But so far, Zelenskyy's main policy position has been to provide a stable government and to rally support ahead of a critical parliamentary election this coming autumn.
And so far, the final election results, of course, haven't come in. We're just dealing with preliminary numbers right now, and I'm standing in front of the Central Election Commission, where they're going to be giving a press conference with the first preliminary election numbers in about an hour from now. But it's looking like it is a landslide victory of this politician who has zero experience, unlike Petro Poroshenko, who's been in power for 5 years, an oligarch, a very wealthy man who Ukraine has thoroughly rejected. So it'll be interesting to see what the final numbers are, but we'll come back to you with that a little bit later in the day.